What's up, guys? This is Coach Ray. So I was on one of the Facebook forums and I saw an interesting post. The post pretty much said why arm wrestling table practice after 40 is a huge waste of time. I saw the video. I even wrote big response, but it was taking too long and I thought maybe I should do a video response. So we watch the video together and I will respond to the questions and some arguments in the video. So my idea is not to slam the guy and say, this is wrong. Let's figure out why is he thinking like this, and maybe someone will get the help they need or understand a little bit better understanding about arm wrestling table practices and the arm wrestling as whole. So let's watch the video. I found it on YouTube. I couldn't find it on Facebook anymore. I forget which forum it was. But on on YouTube, it's Arm Wrestling 2022 channel. Video title pretty much says why arm wrestling table practice after 40 is a waste of time. Okay, let's watch the video together.
Why table practice time for beginning arm wrestlers over 40 is a waste of time. Now, before you get your panties in a wad and get it all scrunched up there where you got to pick it out of your crack, because I just made that comment, I didn't say it's a complete waste of time. I said it's a waste of time. For example, I went to 3 practices and I got something out of it. But had I known then what I know now, I might not have gone to those practices right away. And the reason is because of my lack of arm wrestling strength.
So, my first advice to anyone is to get on arm wrestling table as soon as you can. Before you start doing any kind of training, you need to get on the table with someone who understands arm wrestling. It's not the lack of arm wrestling strength, it's lack of arm wrestling understanding. Yes, you need strength in specific areas, but you cannot apply the strength when you don't know what to do. So I think that the start isn't that good. The start is already like the big misunderstanding, because you're thinking you need to be stronger so you can practice, but really you need to practice. And a lot of guys don't need to get stronger, they just need to practice and they will get better and better and better. Coordination, you build those neural pathways, you understand the movements. I think the coordination aspect of arm wrestling is most important. You build that and then you can build the strength. And we see this time and time after again, guys coming in with a lot of strength, not enough coordination, and it takes a lot of time to catch up.
I personally believe that I could have gotten more out of the practices had I practiced and worked on the right strength before I went to the table. Now, why?
There is some there. Okay, this might be a little correct. You need to kind of work the positions that you're going to work. So, side pressure is not natural movement. Even back pressure is not natural movement for us. Cupping the hand and pulling to our body, or, driving the shoulder in. You can work on all those things in some exercise that are more compound exercise that will not just work one aspect of arm wrestling, but a little putting them together. But still, it will kind of build or tell you a false narrative, because you might train your side pressure in a cable system, just going there. But as soon as someone starts pulling your arm away, you're like, well, why is this not working? So there is something here. You can work on understanding positions a little better, but still the table wins.
Why would it be a waste of time? And why would it actually be of some value if you wanted to go? It's a waste of time because if you don't have the strength, what you're going to be doing on the table is you're going to set up and you're not going to be able to do anything. If you're going against most of the other arm wrestlers, you're going to set up, you're not going to be able to pull back, you're not going to be able to go this way, and you're just going to practice on making sure you don't get into the arm break position. That's about it. Now,
I watched this video a few days ago. I forgot about this, but I feel the guy had absolutely terrible practice experience. Absolutely terrible practice experience. So it's very hard. you go on arm wrestling table, it's very hard to put in your mind that you don't want to win, you want to learn. If you think you want to win, you cannot learn at the same time, because you're gonna use everything you have to win, which may not be the best way for you to learn. So I feel like he had terrible experience where the guys were either, or maybe it was him, maybe he didn't take it, maybe guys were giving it to him. But even standing on a center line, not moving on center, you can activate everything you need. That's pretty much how I warm up. I like to be very static in the center. I feel everything activated. Every time I do it, I have more muscles, more of my arm wrestling chain involved. All my guys do that. So, standing in the center line, why not? When you want to learn the movement, you have to have someone allow you to go through the motions, and then they can put brakes on some specific places. That's how I do with someone who just comes in. We start with the really basic things. We learn, back pressure to the side, hand, and then you slowly add things to it. But it will take a lot of time to catch up. You cannot do it in one training session, especially even if you're just watching videos online, you cannot do that. You have to spend time on table practice. Plus, very rarely someone just has it like this. Those are special people, in best sense of the word. Others will take time, others will take massive amounts of time to develop that feeling. Everything still looks clunky, and it takes time. It takes a lot of time. You will ask guys like Giannis and Engin, and they will say, "Oh, we're still evolving. Our techniques are still evolving after 20, 30 years in sport." So expecting, even if you can budge someone, that means okay, they are weaker than you are. You still have to practice the move. You still have to what does it say? Practice a movement 10,000 times, then you're gonna do it. That's pretty much what you need to do. Imagine how many table practices that takes.
Some will go ahead and let you have a little piece, okay? So some will go like their half strength, and they'll let you pull a little bit. They'll let you pull back like that. They might even let you practice. I mean, hook. So hook. They'll let you practice some of the techniques. So that's some of the value that you're going to get out of it.
That's not correct. By way he's explaining, I understand that the table knowledge isn't there. Dude, you need to get on table practices. And I think in video we're gonna get to a point where you talk about it and I explain especially why you need table practice. But imagine the same things like you would go and practice with a heavy bag, and then you went in a boxing match without having faced anyone. And if you're lucky, no one lands a shot on you and you knock them out. But if they hit you, that's a different world. Same thing goes in arm wrestling. You can do the exercises, build the strength as much as you want. You need that table practice. I absolutely like everyone who hasn't done arm wrestling up until their 40s, and I have a great experiment right here. We had Kristaps Blumens, the junior European world champ from Latvia. His father came into the sport when he was over 40s. No experience. Still very, very clunky. Doesn't train that much outside. Still trains, but not that much with the specific exercise. Gets better just by pulling more. Because starts understanding, starts getting way. At the start, he lost so many matches in competition, not only in practices. That kind of hurts. Stick to it. Got two silver medals in last European master class. That's the running experiment we have, and we have a lot of those. Super terrible guy. I call him God of War. So I do not agree with this. Yeah, at all.
But I'm here to tell you, I mean, if you're starting arm wrestling and you're over 40 and you haven't developed the strength, you're not going to like it too much, because one of the reasons you're going into arm wrestling is kind of that combat, that fight, and you want to use your strength, right?
That's why you find the guys that are, like there's some terrible clubs where everyone is really strong, but you can find places where there are a little bit weaker guys, and that comes with arm wrestling. You have to take the punishment. You have to go. You have to go. You have to train. You have to, suffer. I think that's the most important part. You have to suffer. You have to hate losing so much that you start winning, and that kind of comes down to it.
That's why you're going into it. So you're going to have a problem. And that problem is it's going to feel like you're spinning your wheels. You just can't do anything. You're not going to be able to pull back. You're not going to be able to rotate your wrists. And so what's going to happen is your partners there that are more seasoned than you are, they're just going to let you have it. And it's not going to be that rewarding of an experience. Now, what could you get out of the table practice? What did I get? I found the top 2 weak areas, and I made another video about that. So maybe up there at the end of the video, or over here, or somewhere.
I guarantee there's way more weak areas than you think. But of course, most likely that was the pronator and that was the hand or the cup that, I haven't watched the videos. Yeah, I think, dude, you just had terrible experience. So we have someone very young come in, or really, I if you think you can pull with the pros, some guys that are national champs here in Latvia, world champ, like, forget about it. Yeah, just throw that idea out. You have to go back and look at, the level that you can fight in. And so the hierarchy in every arm wrestling club gonna be like this, from starting from the weaker guys to the stronger guys. If you're trying to jump there and you kind of, oh, these guys, I can beat them, you still can get a lot of value from arm wrestling someone that is weaker than you, but there's less value punching up all the time, especially when they're not giving you anything. So I think it was just terrible experience. I think, yeah.
Or just go to my channel. I have a new video out called the top 2 weak areas for beginning arm wrestlers over 40. Guaranteed, it's going to be your top 2 weak areas. I don't care if you are kind of a monster like I am on the bench. If you can do 25 pull-ups. Now, when I do my pull-ups, it's this way. I guess that's kind of pronated. I guess this would be your supinated pull-ups, and this would be the neutral grip. I never really did neutral grip pull-ups. Most of my pull-ups have always been like military pull-ups. I'm here to tell you, if you're 250 pounds and you can do 20 of those, which most people can, it's not going to help you.
I agree there. Yeah. The general strength and everything else, you have to build it as specific, you have to transfer it. But those pull-ups, if you start by doing 10 pull-ups and then you increase to 15 and you know how to arm wrestle, you're gonna get stronger. Because that's the difference, knowing how to arm wrestle. It's not about building specific strength, it's knowing what you're doing on table.
It's not, if you can bench press 315 pounds, let's say for 3, 4, 5 times without a spot, it's not going to help you. Not going to help you at all. Okay. If you can curl, 125 pounds, let's just say you can curl the Olympic bar plus a 45 and a 45, so 135 pounds, and you can strict curl that. It's not going to help you. Okay. Not going to help you. You're going to get on the table, you're going to do this, and you're not going to be able to pull back at all, and you're not going to be able to go that direction at all, unless they give it to you. And they will give it to you a little bit, but it's not going to be that fun for you.
I understand where he's coming from, for sure. You want it to be, you want that experience, but that experience, like arm wrestling, is in some ways miserable. Some guys are doing it for 10 years, just can't get those wins, just can't get. But I think it's fun. It's I said this so many times, but you have to pretty much eat shit. In arm wrestling, you do it in every practice. Every champion has been kicked so many times on table, it's kind of ridiculous. You cannot even compare it to some other sports, but that's what makes the difference. The rounds in, rounds out, just work, work, work.
So that's why the name of this video is your arm wrestling table practice as a pure beginner over 40 is going to be a waste of your time. How can you make the table practice not a waste of time?
Get stronger first.
And this is where, again, I say I'm like on the opposite side. Learn, then you get stronger. You can work on some specific areas. All of my guys and everyone that I coach, they will work on general training when they start, as well as specific training. But the table practice is the most important thing. That's where they should be learning, because it doesn't matter what you do if you still don't know how to arm wrestle, and it's not just gonna magically happen. So you're building some neural pathways on some exercises, and sometimes, most of the time, it doesn't transfer to the table. So I would even suggest no training, just a lot of table practice with smart, not so strong arm wrestlers, where you can get a lot of work in. You know, if someone's stonewalling you, you will most likely get too exhausted when someone's opening you. When you are too close with someone, again, that's, you know, you can get that negative side of arm wrestling training. But when you are on that good side, you know, when you can control guys, understand the techniques and practice technique, and you know, do it with technique in mind, not just winning in mind, because that's the difference. You know, I feel like you just want to win, which is cool, which is amazing, because that's all we want, you know. But you have to be self-critical. You have to put your ego aside and like, what is best for me, you know. It, take any other sport and put it in this conversation, and it will be ridiculous. You know, train all the muscles for swimming, and then learn how to swim. No, learn how to swim, and then you'll see what you need to train. Uh, I said already, boxing. Take any powerlifting activity. You know, do all the exercises except the, you know, barbell squats, and see will you get better at barbell squatting. You know, or do push-ups, and then you'll see how your bench increase. No, it's the opposite. It's do the thing that makes that thing. You know, if you want to get better at boxing, go and box. That's, you know, want to get better at arm wrestling, you have to arm wrestle. But experience matters, and you know, and your understanding on what to achieve. I have so many guys coming into the practices, and all they want to do, they, you know, doesn't matter, they're from Latvia, other countries, they come in and they want to beat you because, you know, they saw you on YouTube. And that's the whole experience they're getting, because they're not allowing themselves to learn, to teach, to get those, you know, they're so, they so much want to pin that arm that they're not thinking, you know. And in arm wrestling, it's very hard to figure that out. Some guys figure it very early, some will figure it after quite some time. For everyone's a different road.
Get stronger first, okay? Then it won't be a waste of time. So I had 3 practices where I went, and actually I was going to skip out for about a month because my arms were so sore. I'd lost a lot of my normal strength. I mean, more than half. In one of my videos, you can see me letting down a 102-pound dumbbell with one arm. Some people say it wasn't a legit curl, but anyway, right now it's a waste of time.
Okay, yes, your arm's gonna hurt for sure. That is the normal side effect. Um, and your muscles, tendons, everything else will be on point with that, with a lot of pain. So don't, you know, don't just think that you have to just do one thing. You have to do your recovery. You have to think you're doing a thing that you've never done before. And I skipped a little bit forward here because, you know,
I'm not going to go to another practice at another club and sit there and do this and not be able to move my arm, not be able to come.
how about you talk with the guys at the practice, tell them what you want to do, what you want to learn. How about we just do this and keep, because it's very hard in arm wrestling not to try to arm wrestle really hard. It's almost impossible. But when you have that control, you will grow.
Come over that way with my wrist. I mean, that's what's going to happen to me right now. It's going to be a waste of time. Once you get strong enough, that's when it won't be a waste of time, because that's when you can actually start learning the technique and then applying the technique.
You got it completely opposite. You can learn the technique, but you have to, you depends on who you're learning it with. Someone stronger can show you, and then someone who's your strength or a little bit weaker, you can practice that on them. That's the thing. And as soon, like, just people get really strong at arm wrestling way faster when they learn technique versus people who don't, just because they learn the technique, they learn those things. Some people are naturally gifted and strong, some are not. There's a lot of different things, but it's kind of going with everything that everyone else has been, you know, doing and saying.
You're not really going to learn the technique if you are being told what to do, but you can't do it. Hello?
I agree. Better training partners.
I mean, they can tell you all kinds of strategies, you know? Put.
Okay, we'll not look at all the strategies.
So this video was about why arm wrestling table practice is going to waste your time if you're over 40 and if you're a beginner, because you're not going to have the strength to do much on the table, and you're just spin your wheels.
Again, like it's a how like before making this video, couldn't you figure out that there's weaker people, or you think you're the, or you think you're strong enough, you're not strong enough, you think you're the weakest? I don't see logic in this. You could just find weaker training partners. You can talk with someone, you know. Um, yeah, it's a very weird one. That's why I wrote like a big essay pretty much with all the 1.34, you know, all the points. And I think just video needs to address, because maybe someone saw it and they're like, okay, well, I'm after 40 and, you know, waste of time, you know, just gonna lift weights for 7 years. And then I say I will compete first time, get injured. Most likely, if you don't practice and then you go and compete, you will get injured. That happens like a lot. That's like a ridiculous amount, especially when you are, because you training in arm wrestling specific movements, you can get really strong, but you lack that coordination, so your muscles are not working together. And I think I'm talking again and again the same things.
Or over 40 important because if you're 28 years old, if you're 32 years of age, if you're 35
I'm 32.
years of age and you're still living with mommy and daddy, and you when you're over 40 and you have responsibilities and you're a real man, you're paying your own way, you're not living with mommy and daddy, you can't afford to waste that time.
Usually the table practices once a week. You go there 2 3 hours, you just have a great time. Like, if you don't have a great time at arm wrestling table practice, you're kind of missing it out, because it's it's fun to solve puzzles. It's fun to figure stuff out. It's fun when it works. It's it's terrible, but it's motivating when it sucks. And you can do one table practice a week, or maybe two, you know, for 2 hours. And still you're gonna waste like 3 4 days of training in 1 2 hours a day. Versus that, I would not, you know, if you have to do one thing and you want to get better at arm wrestling, table practice, smart table practice, where you know exactly what you're going to do, where you have training partners that will take care of you, where they will not, you know, damage your arm, where someone will keep you in check. Because beginners get way too aggressive, and like they think too much about pinning someone's arm, taking that victory in table practice, that they forgot about learning, you know, and getting drills in. I look at this like, if you really want to get good at something, you want to drill. Every technique that I kind of have developed, I drill as much as I can. Everyone, you know, before competition, you know, the best guys, they will drill that one technique, that one winning factor. That's it. And when you don't have that, it's done. Yeah, I think the problem here was really bad first experience, or maybe lack of understanding what to expect. You gonna, you know, you gonna eat shit. That just happens in arm wrestling. Yeah, but after 40, after 30, after 20, after when you're 10 years old, first thing you need to do is get to table practice. Learn about arm wrestling, learn about the moves. You still can do the exercises for sure. You know, those will kind of work together. When, you know, I will give someone side pressure and then we'll give back pressure, and then we get on table. I said, like, do what you did in that exercise, but add a little bit of this, and they have a little better understanding. But it wasn't about getting stronger, because you cannot get that much stronger that fast. But you can when you're on table actually arm wrestling. And it's arms gonna hurt, yes they will. 2 3 weeks, month, you can adjust to it. That's what happens. You kind of have to get through it. I hope someone after 40 didn't watch this, not this video, but you know, the video I'm speaking about, and thought that they couldn't do it. I think, man, uh, your looks like you are passionate about the sport. Get on better team, you know, understand what you're doing, learn the techniques, have someone a little bit weaker to practice with. uh, have the pros teach you correct technique and make assessments what you're doing, what you're not. Because guys that you are pulling that are weaker than you, if they are not strong in one position, they will tell you, okay, your technique works perfectly. You arm wrestle with someone else and they have, like, let's say, better pronation, you just cannot go through that pronation, or better cup, and they just eat your hand up, turn you in. So that's why you need a lot of different arms, and you will have a lot of different data. Yeah, What are your thoughts? Please leave a comment. I hope you enjoyed this video. It took way longer than I thought, but I thought I saw it and let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Yeah. Stay strong and love arm wrestling.